Good morning, fellow Hoosiers. I am going to try to keep my message to you as brief as possible this morning. One of the things that I think is very important during this National School Choice Week is to talk about uh, the choices that are available to Hoosiers for educating their children and why we need to work diligently to design and fund new, uh, widely available options for Hoosier children in Indiana. You see, public or government education in Indiana is much like the Titanic. It's sinking, and it's sinking quickly. And unfortunately, the captain of the ship, Governor Eric Holcomb, who is responsible for the sinking of Indiana's public education system uh, through all of the actions and uh, decisions that he has either made or directed the Indiana General Assembly to make. All of these things have culminated in Hoosier families uh, frantically searching for a lifeboat for the education of their children. Now, unfortunately, we still have many Hoosiers who are, for no better way of saying it, trying to rearrange the deck chairs on a sinking ship. And while I applaud those who go to school board meetings and speak their mind, the reality is school boards are powerless in the state of Indiana to affect change. The Indiana General Assembly has seen fit to let them know that by dissolving the school boards in Gary and Muncie and turning those over to their own um, trustees, if you will. And those trustees have failed miserably in those instances. And it is apparent that the ship is going down. Public education, government education in the state of Indiana is sinking. And we have got to, first of all, get our families into lifeboats, school choice options, if you will, that are affordable and innovative, creative, that are accessible and open to those who need them. Now, we can't do it overnight. There are no wealthy benefactors who are going to open up their coffers and fund an entire education system throughout the state of Indiana to replace what government has created in the way of dependency. And make no mistake, I hear people say all the time, well, what do we do about the parents who can't afford a private option or who aren't able to homeschool their children? We need to change, we need to unsink the Titanic for them. No, what we need to do is we need to find lifeboats for them and help them get in those lifeboats and make sure that those lifeboats are accessible to all, not just those who can afford them. But that's a private endeavor. That has to be a charitable endeavor. That has to be an intentional endeavor that we make to decouple ourselves from the sinking ship that is public education in the state of Indiana. You see, we don't need government accredited private options because those are lifeboats that are still tethered to the ship. And when the ship sinks, it will take those lifeboats down with it. Government accreditation is the way that they keep you tightly coupled to the mothership. And then when the mothership goes down, you go down with it. We need non-accredited, non-government accredited. We need privately accredited, privately funded education options. Do I have all the answers? No, absolutely not. I don't. But I know that trying to unsink a sinking ship is not the answer. Going to school boards and demanding changes that the school boards know they cannot make because the state legislature will rip them out and replace them with their own mechanism for ensuring that those public schools do as they're told. This is where we find ourselves today in the state of Indiana, folks. And what we must do is we must make a conscious decision that we will find lifeboats for all. Now, there will be those who will not get in the lifeboats. We can't make them get in the lifeboats. And as heartbreaking as it is, if someone decides they're going to go down with the ship, they're going to go down with the ship. But we must make opportunity and help all who want a lifeboat to find a seat in a lifeboat. Our children not only deserve it, but their futures depend upon it. We see all across our country examples such as California and New York of states where the system has sunk. People have bought into the idea of government dependency and government control, and we can't let that happen in the state of Indiana. We have to stand up and say, we do not accept the same big government, dictatorial, authoritarian rule in Indiana that they have in other states. We still believe that citizens of the state of Indiana are sovereign individuals endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness as defined by the citizen, not the government. It is time to stand up and get in a lifeboat and say no more public education, no more government education, no more taxpayer-funded social engineering in the state of Indiana. We are going to create options that are affordable and innovative and provide opportunity for all. And we're going to do it not in a one-size-fits-all manner, but in the true every child is unique and every child needs a tailored education experience manner that allows us as Hoosier parents to know that our children are getting both the education that they need and the freedom and flexibility to be the individual sovereign that they are as they grow up. So I encourage you, please take a step back during this National School Choice Week. Look at what is wrong with the educational Titanic that some folks are putting an awful lot of time and energy into trying to unsink the ship. and help them to understand that that energy and time and those resources, that money, need to be focused on creating, implementing, and funding lifeboats for Hoosier children, and getting those lifeboats as far away from the sinking Titanic of government-run public education as we possibly can. Thank you. I hope that maybe some of what I've said here this morning will spur some change, because our children are our greatest natural resource in the state of Indiana, and we cannot afford for government to destroy it. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.